Hello, everybody. It's Lady Shiya here with a very special guest Mira Hunter from Hearth Wisdom Store. Oh my gosh, I am so glad to have her as a guest here because I've got some absolutely incredible news for you guys. I miss living in Fort Worth because this was my store. I mean, if I could go in, look, I'll show you guys in a bit. I've still got bags of herbs from that store, and I'll show you some of my bags, like all those herbs that y'all are like, where'd you get all the herbs? Her. Well, her. There you go. So anyway, say hi, Mira. Say hi. Tell everybody about a little bit about yourself.
I am so glad to be joining you guys live from the shop this morning. Well, it's actually afternoon here in Texas, and I'm going to take you for a little walk around the shop for Hearth Wisdom Store.
Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. We've been here for almost 7 years. We moved to our new location about 2 years ago. Is that right? Yeah, about 2 years ago, right when COVID hit, actually, we had expanded.
Right after I moved up to New York. I have not been able to come into your new store yet.
Yeah, so right after COVID hit, we had gone into an expansion mode to be able to do more for our classes and everything like that. We wanted to do more events and have more space for readers and whatnot. And then we moved into our new location to have it shut down literally like 3 days after we got set up, and we had to
we're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, no, never mind. It's going,
okay.
I think
we had to adapt quite a bit during COVID. So we ended up expanding into more virtual space because, like you said, we had been here in our local community, Dallas-Fort Worth area, for about 5 years at that point, kind of grown a couple of times, while we were there. And then after COVID, realized that, what, we had to change our business model and we had to reach more people in their homes where they were at and where they were located. So I started Hearth Wisdom Store, like I said, almost 7 years ago. My background is military. My husband and I are military.
I'm ask you to hang on for just one second because apparently Zoom decided that we were no longer Facebooking. So we're going to have to redo that and get, as much as we are. Okay, now we're live streaming. Okay, good. There we go. So go on. 7 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, so 7 years ago, I shared that my background is military. My husband and I, we moved around all over the world. We'd been stationed in Germany and all over the United States. And then we had settled here in Texas in 2002. And we really wanted to be more connected with our community and have more resources and tools. We had been closeted for so long, and that we really wanted to be a little bit more open and actually practice with more people. And so we kind of explored the community. We connected with a few folks, shared space with some people, but we really didn't find what we were looking for. Just to give you a little bit of my spiritual background, I am an eclectic gray witch, and my husband is Norse pagan. And we found ways to kind of just blend our practices and blend our magic. And so I tend to kind of pick things from different spiritual paths and whatnot that I really connect with over time. I've got a really interesting background. My mom is she's Irish, Celtic, Norwegian kind of descendant. My dad is Black, and I have we have some Native American blended in there, but we were never really raised in that culture because my mom was adopted. And so over the years, I just kind of got really curious about different paths and spirituality. And while I was in the military, just seeing the world, realizing that there was a lot of synchronicity in different spiritual paths, there's a lot of overlap, of how people express spirituality. And I just found it to be really beautiful. And I wanted to make sure that I was being respectful and wanted to explore that. And our diversity of our spirituality allows us to be more accepting of each other. But we didn't see anything around the area that kind of really represented us. So we decided, see a need, fill a need. And we opened up a really small shop. The first shop that we had was like 1,000 square feet.
Where was located initially?
Yeah, we were over by Pioneer, or we were off of Arkansas Lane by Veterans Park, and we had just a little small shop with a little space that we had for sacred space for classes, and it, and our community just kind of grew from there. And then we started getting a little bit bigger as our community started getting bigger, and then we, kind of moved into our last location, which is where we're at, which I'm going to take you on a quick tour of. But just to share with you again, so COVID forced us into the virtual space. I was not comfortable in the virtual space initially, but we needed to bring our classes, our ceremonies, our rituals, all of that to the broader populace where they were at, which was at home. Because as practitioners, how do you gather when, you're basically shut in? And we had already spent most of our spiritual path being closeted, so it was really a chance for us to learn a little bit more about how to integrate spiritual space in the virtual space. And so we took to social media, we took to virtual e-platforms, shopping platforms, we kind of explored Zoom and whatnot, and just started, broadcasting our spiritual signal out there to the virtual space, and we ended up reaching all over the globe. I've had people from Australia and Egypt and all over Europe attend my tarot classes, and Shiya, you would never believe, we had a class that had over 100 people, and Zoom actually was like shutting people out because we didn't realize that there was a cap on the amount of people who could attend a class.
Unless you have the pro thing, yes.
Right,
so.
Which we found out and had to upgrade for that too.
I have got some terrible, terrible, terrible news. For
What's
some
that?
reason, we're going to have to restart this thing. So could you mind? Because apparently the whole thing just completely shut off on Facebook and it just crapped out.
Okay.
So
Where
we're still
do you want
going.
me to go back to? Where do you want me to start?
We'll just start at the beginning. Let me hit the stop.